So, what can you say, guys? I mean, what can I say? It was it was wonderful. As a whole, upon first listen, that could very well be their best album. Could very well be their best album. Just on first listen. Uh, to break it down track by track, if I remember correctly, I should have done it while I was listening, but I wanted a straight through listen. Just no interruptions, no anything, all outside sources cut off. I had avoided listening to any of the songs before the actual release date. So Timelines, True Romance, Everyone Will Die, when those were released, and then when the full album was released, I just said no, forget it. I already made it this far since April. I'm not going to listen to any of them. So I got the CD. My vinyl LP is supposed to be coming in the mail, but I got the CD, listened to it today. I am very, very happy, very, very pleased. Circuits and Wires was a great start to this thing. It came in punching the great lyrics we all know. It was marvelous. And True Romance was a good, catchy song, had a catchy chorus, and a wonderful bridge. Like, that bridge was, my brother was telling me about it, we was just like, dude, the bridge. And I'm like, yes, that is a wonderful bridge. That was a great second track. Son of a Gun was really, really catchy, quirky, kind of a funny song, actually. Something that, it reminded me of My Sharona from the Knack. Anyone else thinking that? I think that's the name of the band. But I was thinking My Sharona. I was like, what the fudge? They're honing in on that. But it was really good. I appreciated that one. Timelines was a totally different thing for them. Timelines kind of set the pace for the rest of the album. Because in the first three songs, they're kind of like, okay, this is a little different, a little catchy. But then Timeline comes in and basically says, here's the new sound. Here's what this album's going to sound like. And pretty much everything following all the way till Floating Down the River is kind of an extension of Timelines. And it's good. Timelines is really good. I'm trying to remember. Let me pull out the insert. Which, thank the Lord, they have an insert, and it's easy to understand Justin Pierre. I love the fact that he sings so clearly, but sometimes things just get lost in translation, and you need something to follow along with. So it was wonderful to have this, and I'm glad Motion City Soundtrack understands that a lyric book is kind of important. I know My Dinosaur Life didn't have one, unless you bought the deluxe edition, so I was lucky. But oh yeah, it reminded me of the what's that song that talks about getting higher than the Empire State? Mumford and Sons, right? Okay, anyway, but yeah, something like that. It reminded me of that, and I was like, that's interesting. And the chorus, it's just an chorus, but the verses are fantastic. The chorus it's all right though. It'll probably grow on me. It sounds like a grower. And then you go from that song to Everyone Will Die, which I had no expectations of that. First of all, I had no expectations of this whole album, but especially Everyone Will Die, because you don't know if this is going to be a heavy, fast song. You don't know if it's going to be really slow melancholy, or just some kind of downtrodden, only acoustic guitar thing. But no, it was a mixture of, like, the whole tone of the album. It was a mixture of the melancholy, sad, slow, and and a little fast. It was medium paced, and it starts off pretty sad, a little depressing, and it sounds like whenever they wrote this song, if Justin did write the lyrics, whoever wrote it was just it seemed like he was in a rough place to a certain degree. Like, I mean, yeah, we all think, we all know we're gonna die. Like, of course we're gonna die, but I guess it never really hits you. So I guess what he did was he sat down and just thought about it. Like, we're all gonna die, and that's scary. And so he wrote a song pretty much about that. And at the very end, it has this wonderful, these violins come in, and it is just gorgeous. It's tear-inducing. Like, you can't help but just get a little choked up when these violins come in, and he sings the last lines of the song, which are, where is it? I love one of the lines he said in it, which is, everyone will die and everyone will lose. And this is an interesting thing from him to write. I wasn't expecting it. It says, it doesn't mean goodbye. It's just a simple truth. Now, does that mean that Justin Pierre, I mean, if you read that just the way it is, does Justin Pierre believe in an afterlife? Is he basically sharing some of his beliefs that although we die, it's not goodbye? Or maybe I'm reading this entirely wrong. You can tell me. You can offer your own insight, of course. I'm going to turn this gain up a little bit. Maybe that was too much. Who knows? Maybe I'm really loud now, but we'll see. So yeah, that was a wonderful song. It could have been a little less loud, as in like it was really just a lot of instrumentation going on. So I would have liked a little more toned down in certain spots, like especially the bridge, where it's great lines, every single smile and every single tear, reminders of the moments we shared in the instant we were here. Wonderful line. Wonderful. Like, genius. Maybe that's a little an overstatement. Nevertheless, great line. I wish it would have been a little quieter there to really let those words soak in. And then, probably the best track on the album is number 6. And it is a new Everything Is Alright. It is the new staple song for Motion City Soundtrack. There is not... I look like such a dork wearing the Motion City Soundtrack shirt. I just realized how ridiculous it looks. Anyway, yes, Coma Kid it's the best track on the album. It's one of the best songs they've written in years. Out of their entire discography, if you were to make a greatest hits album, Coma Kid would have to be on there. I just about threw my neck out to that song because it is so darn poppy and rocky and great lyrics. It's everything that Motion City Soundtrack should be, and they kill it. That song is just Tony Thaxton's losing it. Everybody's losing it. Wonderful harmonies. It's everything. It's the perfect song. And then Box Elder comes along, which I would love to know more about what this song is about. Because I don't know what the heck a Box Elder is. I don't know if there's some... I envision this really old dude in a packaging plant just cutting up boxes and taping them together. Like, that's all I envision in the Box Elder song. So... It's interesting, though. Throughout all these songs, I guess I'll say it right now, they kind of build on themselves. Like, it starts off kind of like, okay... And then they get to the chorus, you're like, okay. And then by the time the song's in, you're like, yeah, that was good. That was real good. It's never, I haven't heard a song like that where it just kind of progressed in such a way that the song got better. You almost, it's very different because you almost instantly know when you're going to like a song and you're going to not like a song. This album totally throws that out the window. You can't think like that in the Go album because it will get better. It's all leading up to something. And the moments where you're like, yeah, that's really good, it's really good, are because of the moments before it. If they didn't have those moments where you're like, I don't know what's going on, the moment that came up would not have been as strong as it was. Let's see, and then The Worst Is Yet to Come is a sad song. It's a little too loud. That's the one complaint I have about Go, is it's just a little too loud. A little too bombastic. But, and at the same time, though, they really do have the same vein of kind of this starting off with this electric acoustic guitar kind of thing. Every song kind of starts with that. But, it just really does build where his vocals are soaring and there's a harmony really loud over it. It's got an ephemeral kind of feel to it. I think I used the right word. But, yeah, definitely honing in on that kind of idea. I'm reading the lyrics here. Yeah, this is just a very sad song, and it's got a... Oh, yeah, this song. This has, aside from the Coma Kid, probably the best chorus. And the thing I was just talking about, songs building on themselves and leading up to something, The Worst Is Yet to Come is one of the best examples on the album. Because the chorus is momentous. Like, it's this Coma... He starts off, you think it's about to get in the chorus, and he's just basically croons, I am sick of listening, and then kicks into this chorus of him. It sounds like he's pleading. He's ripping his soul out, screaming these lyrics to whoever it is. And it comes to this pretty tragic conclusion at the end, saying, the worst is yet to come. You think this is bad? We're not even there yet. So that one's a really good one. Let me see. Bad Idea is another cute one. Another catchy, kind of like Skin and Bones kind of deal from My Dinosaur Life. It's kind of forgettable, but it's mainly just because everything's so good. But it's... oh yeah, just make a comment about the lyrics on this album. Some of the best the dude's written. They're all kind of in the same vein. he focuses on skin and bones kind of lyrics, and even if it kills me lyrics, as in like the song even if it kills me, mixed with like tinges of commit this to memory esque like angst involved in there, but it's mainly a lot of even if it kills me lyrically wise. So, and there's no swearing. I just thought I'd randomly bring that up because I was surprised, and I'm kind of happy about it because I don't think you need it particularly. I think the only time the swearing was ever good in the last album was on Her Words Destroy My Planet, where it kind of fit. But everything else, it's like, okay, this is just a little silly. But it's the first album ever where I don't think they've ever dropped an F or an S-bomb or anything. I think he's getting a little PC, a little politically correct. Oh, I stole that from my friend. But yes, this Bad Idea is a good track. It's a solid track, you know, not the best on the album, not the worst, because the worst is saved for the only dud on the album. If there were to be a dud, maybe it'll grow on me as I listen. But Happy Anniversary is clearly, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, a song written for him. Whoever, Justin Pierre, the band, they wrote this for themselves. I don't think this was a song exactly meant for, and they probably are just going like, are you stupid right now? Like, no, it just doesn't feel like it was meant for our consumption. Like, this was a song written to let out some frustrations or like all songs are, but it seems even more so that there was a lot less care to the actual musical instrumentation to the public, which I completely dig, though. I really appreciate a band that will just do whatever they want. Like, Happy Anniversary is clearly different from the rest of the album, but still kind of the same, but structurally, vocally, it's different. It starts off different, and it is different throughout. But lyrically, it's really good. Lyrically, it's another sad song, another introspective look into things that he's been going through, and it ends pretty more tragically than I said before, with the fact that it seems as though he's gonna, I don't want to ruin it, but it's a pretty bad ending. So this is, if there was a time where he was focusing on the weak and like a Delirium Disappear kind of lyrically sound thing, or something from I Am the Movie, this is it. That's the song. It's like an A-OK, actually. And then comes another kind of in the vein of Circuits and Wires from the very first song, Floating Down the River, which in my head I made up expectations which I shouldn't have done, because I thought it was going to be this nice slow song, which still has really good lyrics, but I thought it was going to be a slow song. Just straight up slow song. Like, they've never done an actual slow song before without a lot of drums and everywhere. So I thought maybe this would be the time, especially when you name a song called Floating Down the River, which, when you think of floating and you think of river, you think of serene and calming, soothing, peaceful, which is everything the song isn't. But the lyrics are wonderful. Some of the best on the album. This would be like, I guess, number 2 or 3 in lyric-wise for the album. And it was a good capper to the album. It ends nicely. They don't, and I don't know if anyone else notices, but they don't, Even If It Kills Me was the only other album that ended on just a fade out. Every other album, I Am the Movie, Commit This to Memory, My Dinosaur Life, have ended on this weird white noise, just repeating of a sound over and over again. Very odd. And then it would either fizzle out or spiral upward or out of control. This album doesn't end like that. It ends like Even If It Kills Me on a fade out. So I would have thought it would have been really cool if they had ended on the whiteout thing, because it would have been like, because I feel like it's the thread that ties all the albums together to a certain degree. But, that I don't think they're thinking as hard as I am, so, or thinking about it that much. But I like how I think the next album they gotta have that, because I think that's a cool way to pace it. But I am so satisfied with Go, and I cannot wait to listen to it again. I'm probably gonna do that right after this. I just thought I'd get down my first thoughts on it, and this wait could not have been more worth it. And I am so happy about this album. It's going to speak volumes as time progresses. This thing is going to age, as the saying goes, like fine wine. Every song, you can click pretty much to a side and I might like Happy Anniversary later, but you can pretty much click to any song and have a good time and enjoy it. An album like that is something special when you can just go to any track and enjoy it. It's a super solid album with at least 6 really good tracks. And it's good that Motion City Soundtrack was away from any influences and it was just them. Because when they're alone, they can write. They don't need influences. Now, that's what's so great about Motion City Soundtrack is that in this album you can tell that they're coming into their own. This is their own thing. This is what they want to be. No influences, and you can tell because of the same vein that every song follows. More so than any album before, you could say, that it's the most repetitive album they have. Because everything, even more than ever, follows a sound. And that's very different for them, I guess. I don't, this is just my opinion, keep in mind. I feel like I have to state that. But what's so great about them is that even when they are with a producer, even when they are with a label trying to influence them, they take their ideas and make it their own. So the album they release is just great. It's still solely Motion City Soundtrack. You can tell this is them. But it's just every album has been different. But it's still Motion City Soundtrack at the end of the day. They're not changing for anybody. It's not, and I do like Linkin Park, but it's not a Linkin Park kind of change. You don't go from screaming, hard rock with tinges of metal in there to whatever the heck 1,000 Suns was. Because I loved 1,000 Suns. It grew on me. I love that thing. I love Hybrid Theory and Meteora. And you might be saying, Caleb, you're not a real fan then. But I don't even know what a fan is. I just like music, okay? Like, I love good music. And 1,000 Suns, for the most part, although there were more duds on that album than this one, certainly, and a lot of other albums, it was a good album. It was solid. There was there was 3 tracks that are but the rest were good. You just have to disassociate yourself with what they were before. Then again, this is not a rant video about Linkin Park, so we're going to get back to Motion City Soundtrack. The album I love, I would say it's their best album. I would, but I'm going to reserve that judgment. Because as of right now, Even If It Kills Me is my favorite album from them. It was lyrically fun, it was poignant, and it had different sounds throughout the whole album. You really didn't know what to expect track by track. And it was gorgeous musically. Even If It Kills Me is one of the best songs I've ever heard. The very last one. And the ending of the album, I'm pretty sure bands have done it before, and it maybe is cliche, but I love how they ended the album with the actual title of the album. That's so cool. I just dig that. I feel like it was a story throughout the whole thing. And I feel like Go, especially, it just seemed like, this is weird, I feel like they didn't have to sit down to name this album. I felt like they were like, so what are we going to name the album? And Justin was like, or whoever, was just like, Go. Because that's what this feels like. This whole album feels like he is coming to this realization throughout the whole thing, more than he ever has. He seems so much more, I guess, even though I mentioned a lot of depressed lyrics, he seems more jubilant than ever to be alive and to discover new things. Motion City Soundtrack feels more alive than they ever have. This is one of the realest albums they have. This is the realest album since I Am the Movie. Because this is like the... If you were to say Even If It Kills Me was the recovery album, and My Dinosaur Life was just their goofing off, having fun period, I don't know what that was. It didn't really feel like it was like this. It didn't feel like a story. It didn't feel like it had a place, like it had a presence. As to where Go feels like they are going forward, that this is the new us. We have recovered. We are back in action, and we are ready to take on the world, and we have this new perspective and this new outlook. And it's refreshing. It is wholly refreshing to listen to this album. It was like cleansing. You could tell that they were cleansing themselves throughout this whole album. It was like Even If It Kills Me was like the recovery album. Like, hey, I'm done with the drugs. I'm done with stupid. I'm past that. And I'm going to get better in every way I can, even if it kills me. As to where Go was a reaffirmation of Even If It Kills Me, but that I have more understanding. It's it's almost like Even If It Kills Me rings really true in Go. But that Go is just a little more mature, a little more understanding of what Even If It Kills Me was trying to achieve, or trying to come to a conclusion, as to where Go is just one step closer to that conclusion. And the album title just says it all. It's just go. Just go. Never stop. Keep going. And that's what this album feels like. It feels like they're not going to stop. It feels like they're... I could probably sit here and look through this thing and talk about each and every lyric line. It's just wonderful to see him so positive. I mean, you have your depressing songs and whatnot, but that is completely outshined by his joy and unabashed love for life in this album. It's like medicine. And I'm so thankful for this album, so thankful for them. I want them to keep writing music forever, as long as they can. He has this line in one song, what is it? I think it's Floating Down the River. Yeah, it is. Here we go. I'm attempting to change after years of destruction. Floating Down the River is an extension of Even If It Kills Me. I am attempting to change after years of destruction. Don't be alarmed. I'm still stupid, awkward, anxious, and a terrible bore. But I'm excited these days. It's the strangest sensation. And I love this line. I only wish I were younger, so I'd have more time to explore. And the thing is he's really not that too terribly old. He's like 30-something. Mid-30s, late 30s, I think. That's Justin. I'm assuming he wrote the lyrics. And everyone in that band's kind of, in that age. So, even at such a, I guess, middle-aged age, like before middle-aged, he's thinking like that. And I think like that. And I'm 20. Not exactly like that, but I think coming from him, someone his age, it makes it all the more relevant and all the more powerful. That's a perfect example, I think, of his positivity shining through the album, and extension of Even If It Kills Me. But I realize I am talking stupid long here. I'm amazed if you've sat through this, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're still here, I would love to hear your thoughts on the album, what you think, if it stacks up with the other ones, if it's worse, better, what tracks you like more than anything, what are your favorite tracks, and yeah, guys, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited just to listen to this album more and more and have it grow on me, just like the way every album has before. But, yes, let's keep going.